Hello. Good morning. Why am I doing this? It's 9:48 a.m. on Thursday. This is not something that I normally do. But I have some energy for some reason. So I've been sick again because, of course. I felt like I missed a lot of this week. There was one day, I think Tuesday, I put no video up at all. Yesterday I did a Canadian video that I think is very important, by the way. Check that out especially if you're in Canada. And I kind of want to catch up on stuff that I missed up to now and chat with you all. But last night I went to bed at 9 p.m. 9 p.m. Normally I go to bed around 11, 12, sometimes 1 if it's crazy. But I have very little time for me just to do what I want to do, which is normally just, sit on the couch and play games. So I tend to extend the nighttime out and try to, soak every moment out of it. But, I was feeling sick again, so I went to bed early and woke up with this amazing energy. I really think that the biggest issue for me is lack of sleep. And when I get that sleep, then I am able to actually perform and do something like this. Go live in the morning, which is insane. I want to just note, though, I've eaten nothing today. All I've had is coffee and water. So I'm saying that because you may hear my stomach growl at some point. My stomach tends to rumble. So if you hear some rumbling, then you know what that is. But I should, be out of here by like 11:30 or so, maybe earlier, and get some food. But I'm here now. So let's chat. Let's go over some stories that I missed, some things that I thought were interesting that I may still put into a full video. I don't know. There's no, I have no plan for any of these things. I just do things. Boom. Look at that. All right. So as you can see from the title, I'll be going over that stuff, but I also want to, I'm going to grab some other random stories. Throughout the week, I collect a lot of potential things that I'll be doing. Actually, one second. I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to collect my notes here. So I collect a lot of stories throughout the week, and I'll be going over some of that stuff as well. This is not going to be like a fully fleshed out, typical live stream, but more of a, laid back, chill, let's watch some shit, comment, that kind of stuff. Dakari says, where can one buy that shirt? The Letter Hack. So let me see if he's still selling it. So it was initially a limited thing, limited time deal. But after Lula won, he put it back up. So I think it's still up. Let me see. Yes, it is. All right. I will link to this if you want this Michael Brooks shirt. The proceeds go to charity. So I will link to this in the live stream, and I will pin it even. This way you can easily find it. All right. There we go. Link is pinned at the top of the live chat. All right. So if you want to buy that shirt, you can. Okay. Let's go over some things. Also, of course, super chats are welcomed if you feel so inclined. Not necessary, but that'd be nice. But let's do some things. All right. So, Tim Ryan, who, man, if you were following the 2020 primary and Tim Ryan's run to attempt to be the nominee, not good. Tim Ryan embarrassed himself multiple times. He got absolutely owned by Bernie Sanders during one of the debates. It just was not a good time for Tim Ryan. This, though, when you're up against J.D. Vance, it makes it a lot easier to be someone to cheer for. So Tim Ryan appeared on Fox News, which is good to see. I like to see politicians do this when they are, again, fighting for their side, not compromising, but they're going to a different audience and trying to appeal to those people, because especially if you're Tim Ryan in Ohio, it's something that is almost necessary to do if you want to win that Senate seat. So, of course, Tim Ryan going up against J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance, who is a liberal, but is now a Trumper. I don't know. I don't pretend to understand these people, just, pure grifting here. But Aaron Rupar here. So this is, before I even show you any of the clips, I want to show you the audience on Fox, because you're going to hear some applause, believe it or not, for Tim Ryan while on Fox. So you may think, oh, it must be a full-on leftist audience. Take a look at these people. So he says, say what you want about Fox, but they have a diverse audience. So this is the Fox News audience. It is what it is, but I'm showing you this for context for these few clips that I will share here. So here's Tim Ryan discussing legalizing marijuana. Now, I've seen bits and pieces of some of these clips because, again, I was going to do a full video on this before I got sick. But so I haven't seen this full clip, but let's check this out. And by the way, I have a little audio thing here. So if the volume is low, I can boost it. We will see.
From prison, and a lot of people fall in.
It's a little low. Let's say 200%. Is that too much? Let's see what happens. Cover your ears.
From prison, and a lot of people fall into that nonviolent category, including drug traffickers, including drug possession, including people who distribute child pornography. So all those people should be let out?
Well, what I'm talking about here is marijuana crimes.
What is that question? Oh my God. Anyways, let's just go on to the marijuana aspect of this.
I think we need to legalize marijuana. I think.
Well, you said all nonviolent criminals out for sure.
I'm sorry?
You said all nonviolent criminals out for
I
sure.
think the focus is
In the context of the drug war.
marijuana crimes, in my mind, right? We spend, this may be the stupidest expenditure of federal money and in public taxpayer money in the history of our country. You get caught with marijuana, then you end up in prison. And that is insane for us. We should tax the marijuana, and we should put it into addiction treatment. We should use it to keep fentanyl and these hardcore drugs out of our country, out of our society. We should invest in the shop class. We should invest into early childhood education. There's so many better ways to spend this money than locking somebody up for marijuana crimes, and especially when white and black people use marijuana equally, black people are 6 times more likely to go to prison. Like, that's an unfair system. I'm sorry, it just doesn't make any sense to me.
Look at that. Look at that. The Fox News audience clapping. Now, this isn't surprising, of course, if you know anything about the data. The vast majority of people support legalizing marijuana. That includes a near majority or almost majority of Republican voters as well. So this is a very popular issue. This is one that Democrats should have jumped on a long time ago. I'm glad they're finally beginning to do that. Joe Biden also helped, that discussion by now having some reform around cannabis and how it's going to be treated. But look, this is a message that goes across party lines. It's good for him to discuss this on Fox. This is a race that initially really seemed to lean towards J.D. Vance and has slowly moved into Tim Ryan's direction. Meanwhile, other Democratic races have gone slowly leaning into the other direction. So it's weird to see how this one race is sort of bucking the trend. And part of that, I think, is how Tim Ryan has been campaigning, which has even surprised me. Tim Ryan, again, my large experience with him is through the primary in 2020, where he was just absolutely terrible. So to see him come out of this and understand how to actually appeal to a wide audience and do it in a way where he's not compromising who he is, I think shows some real character here. But let's check out this now. And this is over January 6th.
They stormed the Capitol on January 6th. Do
I have to raise every tab? I think I do. Okay.
They stormed the Capitol on January 6th. They beat up 140 police officers, killed one. Okay, they killed one.
See, you can tell it's still a Fox audience. No, we believe all the conspiracies.
We all watched the video. And
Let him finish, please.
And I'm happy to have this conversation. I'm not afraid to have this conversation. These are the conversations we need to have in this country. I welcome you guys. Let's just be respectful. But I'm not afraid to stand here and defend my position. On January 6th, 140, I sit on the subcommittee that funds the Capitol Police. These are my friends. 140 of them got hurt. And some of them still can't go back to work because they were beat up with lead pipes. They were sprayed with pepper spray. They were beaten with flagpoles. Okay? They were trying to overthrow the government. They were trying to stop the peaceful transition of the government. What else were they doing there? They're going to kill Mike Pence, right? They want to kill Nancy Pelosi. Now somebody's beating up Nancy Pelosi's husband with a hammer. J.D. Vance raised money for the insurrectionists. He made several social media posts to raise money for them. Now, again, I don't care what your politics are, but Americans should say, no. We have to say no to that.
We're going to try to get as many questions as we...
So, it seems like a little, a spatter of applause there. Not many people, at least not from that view.
No. We have to say no to that.
We're going to try to get as...
But it's wild to go from getting booed for discussing facts around Jan 6 to getting an applause by the end of it because, what he's saying is undeniable. I know many people there, of course, Republican voters are going to continue denying the reality for whatever reason. It's very clear what happened. That said, reality hurts their egos, so they don't want to acknowledge it. But to even get a little, support here when discussing Jan 6, and again, showcasing, Ryan is not backing down. Like, it's one thing, this is I hate the straw man arguments people make around, oh, you don't want anyone talking to Fox News because that means they're right-wing automatically. No, it's what do you say on Fox News? Do you go on Tucker's show to support what he is saying, to back up every one of his points and to never refute anything? Or do you go on there to fight for truth, for your positions, and challenge them? Bernie Sanders, Tim Ryan, when they're on Fox News, they challenge what the typical narrative is on Fox. They stand firm in their positions, and they explain them in a way that is more easily digestible for that audience. It's all about how you use the platform. It's not about the platform. It's about how you use the platform. And Tim Ryan here doing a good job showcasing how he doesn't back down from his positions, even in the face of an audience like this. So I think I got some more clips, but this is, I guess, a recent poll here from Fox News or from Spectrum Siena, 46-46. I want to bring up, let me see if I could find, I don't know, I guess 538 is the best in terms of putting all the polls together. But let's see where it's at. All right, so bring it over here. So it looks like Vance is still out ahead, 47.1 to 44.8. So actually, to refute what I said earlier, this race isn't going in the opposite direction. Maybe at one point it was with Ryan going up here at the end of October, but now it seems to have spread out again. It is so wild to me. Just the absolute pieces of shit that Republican voters will vote for. Because Vance isn't even one of them. I mean, he is, but he isn't. This is a guy who correctly criticized Trump at one point in his life. Is just clearly a fraud. Regardless of if he has any positions at all, I don't think he even has any positions. It's more about attaining power and what to do to get that power. But even with that being so clear, they're still supporting him. Same with Dr. Oz. Dr. Oz is a guy that had to publicly admit that he sold fake diet pills to make himself money. And he may become a senator. How did he even become a candidate? To publicly be a fraud and then to fail up into a position as senator. This is what gives me a little hope for humanity when I see shit like this. Just the level of, and look, Ryan isn't perfect either. I'm sure there are many fair criticisms of Ryan, as I did plenty of them during the primary in 2020. But you have to compare the two candidates, right? Those are the choices. Voting is a tool. You have to use your tool the best you can. And oftentimes that's harm reduction as opposed to, voting for the perfect candidate. And it's so clear here. Yet people either don't know Vance and his history, don't care. And typically it's, voters on the right are definitely more reliable voters. They come out regardless. They come out regardless of who the candidate is, regardless of, whether it's a midterm or a major election. And that also plays into this. But at the same time, youth vote can often be unpredictable, can often turn races, and are not often a data point that is included in many polls, because polls typically rely on reliable voters for good reason. That is who normally shows up. But if there happens to be a big youth turnout, that could also turn this race and other races as well. But let's check out his comments here on abortion.
Story or two every single week of women who are in this tragic situation. Their life becomes at risk. They have to go to Illinois. Now, J.D. Vance wants a national abortion ban, and he wouldn't be happy with these people going to Illinois. He wants them to have to get a passport and go to Canada. He called rape inconvenient.
This is after 15 weeks, is what he's talked about. We're going to ask him all these questions.
After 15 weeks.
So what's your number? What you say you don't want it afterward? Is there a number?
I think we go back to Roe v. Wade. Roe v. Wade was in the third term.
The way these people want like an exact number, as if it's the same for every person, viability is the number. That's the number. It's between a doctor and a woman and what they decide. And Tim Ryan here, I think, has a good answer, which is just go back to the way it was. And even some applause there from the audience.
In the third term of Roe v. Wade, you could only do it if there was some kind of medical emergency. We don't want J.D. Vance and Ted Cruz and all these guys in the doctor's office.
Do you think that the Democratic bill...
Anyways, good answer there. Like the idea that Republicans are for freedom when they are stripping rights away, when they want to decide what, when or how a medical procedure is performed, is crazy. And they'll call like single payer healthcare. Oh, That means politicians are controlling your health care. No, it means everyone is under the same plan, meaning all your taxes go into that plan, meaning you pay less of your taxes than you do to a private insurance company. There's no for-profit motive. And you also have freedom of choice, actual freedom when it comes to doctor, when it comes to where you're going to get health care. No, phone calls with insurance companies, none of that shit. As a Canadian, I, have discussed this many times. I understand this, but it's hard for, I think, a lot of Americans to wrap their head around having actual freedom in healthcare. And actual freedom in healthcare is having it in a public system, having it or having a single payer system where there's no dealing with a for-profit motive. Which, by the way, Tim Ryan doesn't support. So, this is one of, these. If he was consistent, he would also support Medicare for all. But these Democrats definitely do what they think is politically viable for them, even if it means they're inconsistent.
What he wants to do?
Energy policy. All right, let's check this out.
Tax that President Biden mentioned, a tax on oil companies' profits. Are you for that?
I haven't looked at exactly what he wants to do. I think the fact that oil companies are making huge profits and having stock buybacks right now, while average person here is paying nearly $4 a gallon, I think that's wrong. And I think we need to crack down. We need to crack down on that.
We're going to move on. We're going to move on, but tax.
I half missed that because I was blowing my nose. But it sounds like he is maybe for a windfall profits tax.
Biden mentioned a tax on oil companies' profits. Are you for that?
I haven't looked at exactly what he wants to do. I think the fact that oil companies are making huge profits and having stock buybacks right now, while average person here is paying nearly $4 a gallon, I think that's wrong. And I think we need to crack down. We need to crack down on that.
So it's politically, I think it's the right move for him to try and not be clear on his position on what Biden is doing. He of course knows, is aware of what Biden has introduced, but he purposely dances around that to just say what he feels. And the reason he's doing that is because however you feel about Biden, maybe you hate Joe Biden, you're able to separate. Like if Tim Ryan said, yes, I agree with Biden, Biden is right, then whatever Ryan says after that, that's going to turn people off who hate Joe Biden. So by him dancing around his support for whatever Joe Biden's supporting, and then just saying what he feels, which everyone typically agrees that corporations are trash and they are absolutely screwing people, then it is more relatable and more people will hear that message because it wasn't couched in the support of Joe Biden. So again, I think that was a smart political answer there. And what's this last one? Oh, so here is Ryan on MSNBC. I think this is the day after, discussing his appearance.
Group of people, and maybe it's 30 or 35% of the electorate. But they're ungettable. And then there's a group that's like they voted for Trump because the system's broken for them, whether it's the economic system.
Did I start at the beginning of that? No, I did not. Okay, let me go back.
We have been led to believe that those two groups of people do not overlap. That the people who believe in what happened on January 6th, which is a violent insurrection at the Capitol, and the people who support Donald Trump, those are never the same groups of people. Have you found otherwise?
I think there's some overlap there. I don't know. I'm not smart enough to do the whole analysis of this, honestly. All I know is what I feel on the ground. And what I feel on the ground is there are people that are absolutely ungettable. They are in that small group of people. And maybe it's 30 or 35% of the electorate. But they're ungettable. And then there's a group that's like they voted for Trump because the system's broken for them, whether it's the economic system, the retirement system, the healthcare system, the education system. They had a level of frustration, and they felt like this independent guy from the outside who was rich and famous, maybe he was the guy. After 40 years, maybe he was the guy that could fix it. And so those voters are are open to a guy like me who's saying like, look, I agreed with Trump on some of the China stuff. I agreed with not the rhetoric, but the policy of we've got to be firm and outcompete China. He renegotiated NAFTA. He wants a strong defense. Like maybe we could vote for a guy like Tim Ryan because he's for us. He's for our retirement. He's for our wages. He's for our health care. And it was similar to Sherrod Brown, who wins in Ohio. Those people are gettable. And I'm not going to not go on Fox News because I'm afraid of the people who support the insurrection on January 6th. I went on Fox News because you got to go into the lion's den to even be able to access those other people. And we are. And that's why we're going to win this race, is because there are those other people who will vote for me. They feel like they're a person without a home. And we want to give them a soft landing because we are all Americans. We don't have to agree on everything. And we're just asking people to help us pull this thing off, to go to timforoh.com and send us a few bucks, because Mitch McConnell's not funding our campaign, and nor are the Democrats in the Senate. We need the rank and file people to help us make this happen.
Now, this sort of strategy isn't always smart. It doesn't always work. Ohio may be different, but the issue with Democrats generally is that they don't get enough people out to vote. So
You have
they usually try and chase after right-wing voters and become, GOP light. And why would a voter who supports the Republican Party, why would they vote for a light version of that? And the answer is they typically don't. They vote for the Republican. But Ohio, I think, is a bit of a different state in terms of, support for unions, in terms of manufacturing jobs, or at least the history of that, and the ability there to maybe reach out to some of those people. While at the same time, hopefully, you still have to rely on the youth vote here. And generally voters who are just disillusioned and don't vote at all. Democrats need to focus more on that. And you do that by actually delivering when you're in power with policies that actually help them. But we will see how this race continues. There is a super chat. I'm going to grab that. I'm going to do a short little break here, a little ad break. I'm going to insert an ad. Apparently I can do that, so I can blow my nose. And and I'll come back with some more stuff, including Elon Musk. What else here? What else do I have? Oh, update on Oz Fetterman. There's a new poll out. We'll check that out. And some other things as well that I missed throughout this week. So I will be right back. All right. Being sick is the worst. It really is. It changes your mood. It makes you angry. It makes me angry. But like, it's just, I hate it. I hate it. And I was sick basically all summer. And now I'm getting sick again. Why isn't YouTube showing me super chats in the tab that has super chats. I have to. This is the problem with having a monopoly on live streaming or on videos. I mean, I guess there's Twitch, but like the fact that YouTube, Google, massive billion-dollar company, and they just can't get basic UI correct is incredible. Absolutely incredible. So let me dig through my options here so I can properly find the super chat that was sent to me earlier, and more super chats are encouraged. I will find them, don't worry. I just have to do it in a roundabout way because YouTube doesn't work properly. Okay. Real dumb. Real dumb, YouTube. You suck. There's been several already. There's been 3, and I didn't see any of them. Amazing. All right. Thank you. Sam Shooter's right bicep says Antifa super soldiers killed them all. I don't know what that was in reference to, but that was from earlier. Thank you. Ellie Void says, you hear Chapo Trap House plan to conquer Canada? I did not hear their plan to conquer Canada. I would be curious to hear what that plan is. Rhino Wiki says, how much do you think gas would have to cost under Republican control before conservatives say anything about inflation? It's disingenuous propaganda. Absolutely. There would be no. They would find some way to blame somebody. It's the same song and dance every single time. Every single time. When something shitty happens under somebody else or under them, then it's someone else's fault. And to be fair, Democrats do a bit of that as well. And sometimes it is true, and sometimes it isn't. Like, when Trump was trying to take credit for, like, I don't know, the economy continuing its progress under Obama in Trump's first few years, it was like, yeah, Trump, you haven't done anything, literally anything except, no, at that point, I hadn't done anything. So to try and take credit because you're simply in the position of power is ridiculous when nothing that you did is connected to how people are feeling. Sandra Woodruff says, I'm so happy I caught you live. Love what you do. Oh, thank you, Sandra. Thank you for your very generous super chat as well. Much appreciated. All right, let's go to, and of course, I will continue taking these all. Oh, now it's showing up. Oh, thank you, YouTube. Now they're showing up under the tab. What a stupid, what a stupid platform. All right, let me see. So I saved a bunch of things. Let me drag this shit over. Drag this away. Goodbye, Tim. Drag this here. All right. So what did I save? And by the way, we'll get to Elon Musk, but look at how much I rely on Twitter. Like, once Elon Musk fucks Twitter, it's really going to be a lot tougher to disseminate all this information. But I'll find a way because he will destroy it, as I'll get to. It's quite clear. But okay, so some of these tabs are kind of just, you know, on their own, no real context here. This is over all of the bullshit around Paul Pelosi. Like, think of how this should discourage any right-wing extremist from even considering doing anything crazy. Because if you do something crazy, they will call you the gay lover of Nancy Pelosi's husband. So that's a warning. If you think what you're about to do is going to help your cause, well, they're going to turn you into Paul Pelosi's gay lover. So that's what this is addressing here. The fact that when Steve Scalise was shot, there wasn't all this, like, you know, conspiracy around, oh, maybe it was really a Steve Scalise supporter. It was an estranged Steve Scalise lover. And that's who shot him. Like, whatever the hell they would have made up. That shit wasn't made up because it happened to be someone who was not a supporter of Steve Scalise. But when it comes to Paul Pelosi, all of this bullshit around the attack. So this is addressed here by Collins. I don't know who this guy is, but here we go.
At and alluded to.
Every clip is too low. This is a problem. We need a complete revolution on the audio levels of Twitter clips.
Linked at and alluded to by anchors last night on Fox News that, things just don't add up. They're just asking the question. And that's the issue here. And also Donald Trump today on the radio, he said basically the same thing. He's like, what about the glass at the all these things that I read on 4chan on Saturday morning. Those are the things that are coming out of people who run the GOP right now, both through their media apparatus and through official party lines. People used to, people who keep saying, like, what about Steve Scalise? And that's true. Steve Scalise was shot at a congressional softball game. Nobody created a secondary story that denied the reality of that happening. Nobody gloated about it. Nobody like Barack Obama did not laugh at this.
That's the other thing worth mentioning here. Yeah, there wasn't, Democrats weren't out there laughing about this or joking about it. Yet the day after, or the day of even, when this happened to Paul Pelosi, the GOP and their supporters all just, making a big joke out of it.
There was none of that at the time. We have to be clear about what's happening here. One side is agitating for violence. The violence happens. They deny it's them. And they say, even if it was us, we would have been proud of it anyway.
So profound.
Balthazar says the GOP wants to claim Paul's assailant, but he used a hammer, and that's a communist weapon. That's right. He was a communist. He used a hammer. So clearly, he was a left-winger. Amazing shit. This I just saved because, hearing a swear word on cable news is like a big deal. So let's check out this swear word that was uttered on MSNBC.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've gotten to know Mrs. Sicknick pretty well, and I thought that was a powerful ad. I mean, she's out there, I think, trying to do what all of us are trying to do here, which is bring accountability for January 6th. And, I also support the fact that Carrie Lake's a piece of shit. So I'm glad she did that ad.
And no one is going to say that you haven't put it all out on the line in the bluntest terms possible.
I mean, Carrie Lake is probably the worst candidate in terms of the danger she poses out of anyone that they're running right now. So definitely a well-placed piece of shit. I agree. All right, so before we get to an update on this Oz shit, or I should say the Oz Fetterman race, Dr. Oz's campaign is stocked with Jan 6ers. I bet you barely heard about this story because I barely heard about this story. But to have, this is a big story. This is a massive story. This should be impacting votes, and it's not going to. If anything, it's helping Oz. But, while Oz was complaining about Fetterman hiring two people who were exonerated, who were initially in jail over murder, then they were let out years later because it turns out they had nothing to do with it. And Oz was attacking Fetterman for giving those two people a second chance. Here he is hiring actual garbage people on his campaign. And this was revealed, I guess, by Rolling Stone. But that's a good image right there. But let's get to an update on the poll. So I got to find it now. But there was a poll this morning in the Oz Fetterman race that does not look good, unfortunately. And part of the issue is that Fetterman's an actual honest person, is willing to show his vulnerability, being the impact that the stroke has had on him. Of course, his debate performance, the actual literal performance, was not good because he's still recovering from stroke. Let me see here. All right, so this is... All right, so I guess there's competing polls here. So this one that also... Oh, no, this is an old poll. Never mind. So this one from the 31st showed Democrats holding slim leads in Pennsylvania, Georgia, Arizona. So I wonder if they have numbers here just to see, we can see the shift. So Mark Kelly has a 6 percentage point lead over Blake Masters. Fetterman held one 49-44 over Oz. Warnock leading Walker by just 3 points is so insane. So insane. But he's still leading. And is that it? All right, let me find the new poll today. So this is okay. There's so many polls now. So this is another one that I think still shows Fetterman leading. Let's see. Half of Pennsylvanians say Senate debate a factor in their vote. Voter enthusiasm declining for Fetterman, but it's still higher than Oz. So this is Fox News here. A factor. That doesn't mean it's the driving factor. But I want to see the actual. Okay. All right, so this was done the 26th to 30th. Fetterman leading in this one, 45-42. Oh my God, it's impossible to find what I want to find. Here we go. Now there's this one. Oz passes Fetterman for first time after Pennsylvania debate. So who is this pollster? So Emerson College and The Hill. The poll released Thursday finds Oz leading Fetterman 48-46 among very likely voters, well within the survey's 3-point margin of error. 4% said they were undecided. The poll marks a steady improvement for Oz, whose support has increased by 5 points since September. Fetterman's support has only ticked up by 1 point. So there you go. Right now, a slight lead for Oz. Additionally, 54% said they expected Oz to win, while 47% said the same about Fetterman. I often wonder how much media narratives. I mean, it has a massive impact. I'm saying like how much, but as in how much of an impact it has on races like this, because clearly how this race has been discussed since the debate. A lot of the focus by mainstream press. Now, to be fair, I saw some local news reporting and like I think AP, they were covering the debate. The big debate moment being Oz talking about how abortion is between you, your doctor, and your local politicians, which was, again, insane, showcasing how ridiculous these Republicans are. But just a lot of the focus from the general media, the mainstream press, was on Fetterman's performance. And he is a stroke victim. He is recovering from a stroke. He made that clear at the beginning of the debate, which is also why I discussed this during the debate and after the debate. Debates they can definitely move close elections, but they're completely about spectacle, completely about performance, because it was really about who was best for, your state, your city, whatever. Then it would be about comparing policies. And what is this going to do versus what is this going to do? But that's not what debates are about. Debates are about how well can you answer this question in a minute or less, which, inherently already is worse for people that actually have real solutions, because real solutions often cannot be broken down in, sound bites. But This is the state of this race right now. And again, this is one poll, but the trend generally has been that Oz has either stayed steady or has improved. And again, the fact that this man was exposed as being a fraud publicly, sold fake weight loss pills, made money off those pills, defended it during the debate as, oh, a commercial. I was doing commercials. You were not framing them as commercials. You were a man who gained trust in your viewers as this television doctor. You gained their trust and you sold them fake ass pills to make yourself money. That's what happened. Yet people somehow are able to vote for an obvious fraud and a terrible individual. But it's really like shit like this is just so, it's so disheartening. See that people do either don't care or don't know. Like, I don't know how anybody could vote for someone like that. I really don't. I saved this for some reason because it's so fucking stupid. Tulsi Gabbard, Second Amendment acknowledges that we each have the God-given right to bear arms to defend ourselves and loved ones from those who do us bodily harm, as well as to protect us / our country from those in power with authoritarian tendencies who may be tempted to try and take our freedoms. This is the same person supporting fascists like Carrie Lake, Tulsi Gabbard, Donald Trump, but the God-given right to bear arms. We all know God only loves America. God is like, you know what? You Americans, you need to have the right to murder as many people as you want with whatever machine guns that you want in whatever setting that you choose to. So God, of course, big fan of mass murder, big fan of the NRA. So only normal here that this very, I don't even know what to call Tulsi Gabbard at this point. just an absolute terrible person. Absolutely terrible person. But it's comedic at this point because it is so clear how like the massive shift. This is someone who supported Bernie Sanders in 2016 and now is supporting fascists in the midterms. Like, the wild swing here clearly showcases that this entire time she has been after power. That's all this has been about. She likely thought, hey, maybe I have a shot as a Bernie VP, or I can be in his cabinet, so I'll do that. She endorsed Biden in 2020. Again, I'm guessing with the intention that it would maybe get her some support or the ability to maybe be, mentioned as a potential member in his cabinet, or again, a VP, maybe. But going from supporting Biden in 2020, now to being this full-on Tucker Carlson, like crazy right-winger, is just incredible. It is so clear that this is all about power, all about ego, all about her attempts here to remain relevant, and about nothing else. No principles, nothing else. Now, this may be how she actually has felt the entire time, and she's just going back to her roots. She has a history of being homophobic, of being a right-winger. She has a history of doing that, of being that before she made her turn in 2016. So, I guess she's just going back to her roots here, but it is just amazing. Amazing. This I saw, and I thought it was a pretty good ad. So let's check this out. This is Mothers Against Greg. You can tell it's the morning. Mothers Against Greg Abbott.
Oh, hey, sweetie, how can I help you?
I read there are babies that totally need homes, so I'd love to adopt one.
That's adorable, but impossible. You're cute. How old are you, 11?
12 and a half.
Excuse me.
If science says I'm old enough to have a baby, hello, period in PE class, I should be able to adopt one, am I right?
No, you're wrong. You've got to provide food, shelter, mental, dental. Do you have proof of income?
Oh, does tooth fairy money count?
Oh.
Well, if I can't take a baby home, what about surrogacy? Wouldn't I look fly pregnant?
Oh, my God, no, put that down. Pregnant teens are at high risk for preeclampsia, toxemia, emotional trauma.
Ugh, you're killing my vibe.
Don't be sassing me. Oh, God, not again. We do not adopt children.
I was just wondering if you knew where the abortion clinic is.
Oh, I'm so sorry, but the state closed all of them.
Thanks.
That was great. I love that. Really good ad. Let me grab some chats here. I think I got Baldazar. Jericho says, nice, an early morning stream. Coffee and Rational National is a great way to start the day. Love your content and thanks for introducing me to RM Brown. Keep up the great work. No problem. RM Brown is a fantastic YouTuber, a great content creator. Definitely check out RM Brown if you haven't already. RM Brown. He does funny political commentary. No DMCA says the amount of ableism in the aftermath of the Fetterman Oz debate from the media and even the public has been astounding. People still marginalize mentally disabled people, and it's disgusting. Yeah, definitely. The way that even the debate itself, like forcing Fetterman into 15-second responses when it comes to, having to respond, they get 15 seconds. Forcing him into that kind of time frame is just ridiculous. Then again, you could argue he agreed, his team agreed to the debate terms. They knew it was coming. David, watch the other ad, the one from like a week or two ago. That's from Black Caucus. Let me look up mothers. Is it the same group? See if I can find it. Oh, I think I saw this one too. I didn't know it was the same group. Let's check this one out.
Wonderful. Baby has a nice, strong heartbeat. Everything's developing right on schedule. Since this is your first, you may want to take advantage of the free parenting classes we offer. I do need to prepare you for the possibility of a C-section and some long-term health issues, but for now, our focus is baby, and baby looks great. Congratulations.
Oh my God. The frig. Wow. Wow is right. Jesus Christ. But like this isn't extreme. This isn't hyperbole. This is accurate. That's what's so crazy about this, is that this is an accurate ad.
And you have rational national priorities.
But people either don't care or I've seen other people, like, again, we're talking about far right-wing voters that are going to vote for the Republican regardless. But I've seen people say, "Oh, if that happens, then they deserve it. They deserve this." There are a lot of terrible, terrible fucking people. This is what has gotten me down for a few years now. Really during COVID. Even before that, I knew there were bad people, but I thought COVID may bring people together. Hey, we have this pandemic. Let's all care for each other. Let's all make sure we're all taken care of. Instead, it kind of went in the opposite direction. And I don't know. I wish I had something more uplifting to say about that, but it is just insane how selfish, how disgusting many people are. Pappy says, hey, so Democrats want to win in Pennsylvania Senate race. Democrats want to win in Pennsylvania Senate race. They need 1.8 million election day votes because there are up to 900,000 absentee ballot requests, and you can't request any more because of the deadline. Okay, I'm not sure. Do you mean that just generally there needs to be 1.8 million votes on election day? Okay, well, thank you, Pappy. I don't know what to do with that chat, but thank you for sharing. Melissa says, guns. An Oregon mayor pulled over on a highway, got out of his car, and shot at a family in a car. Road rage. Arrested for attempted murder and assault. Holy shit. It is, I will say, I mean, I would never be that person. But it's crazy how some people like me are able to get so angry in the car at bad drivers. And I think it's because and you know, again, this is a complete separate aside from what you just shared here. But when you see selfish drivers on the road, for me, it's like a representation of who that person likely is. People that are living in their own world, in their own minds, completely selfish, are completely unaware or do not care about how their actions affect other people on the road. And then you get someone like this who's a complete fucking lunatic and, you know, is going to murder somebody over it. But for an Oregon mayor to think, again, he wasn't thinking, I think is what happened here. But the issue here again is guns. If he didn't have access to a weapon, what would the result of this? What would have happened here? He would have been likely angry in his car for a bit. I don't know, and then he would have got over it. But the easy access to weapons allows people to act on their rage in the moment when they would otherwise get over it in a few minutes. Philip says, thanks for being here for all of these years. I have shared as much as possible with your channel. I've shared as much as possible your channel to those I know. I look forward to your content every day. Thank you, Philip. Also, thank you for becoming or being a member for 28 months. Wow. Likely one of the early members. Thank you so much. All right. Let's see what else I got here. Did that already? All right. So let's do a little Elon Musk. All right. We got some Elon Musk. What a clown. What's amazing now is seeing even those on the right begin to turn on Elon Musk. They are finally realizing how much of a clown Elon Musk is. So here is Luke Zaleski tweeting out. Yes, so I guess I should give context here. Apparently, Elon Musk is about to fire half the people at Twitter. Now, I don't know the inner workings of Twitter. I don't know how it operates on a daily basis. I don't know what these people do and how it will impact Twitter. But he tweets out here, $220 billion man who just fired 3,700 Americans needs your $8 to turn a profit. Can you spare the price of one cup of coffee to help a billionaire sell your free speech back to you? This is he is. Let me get to how he's going to destroy Twitter. All right, so I will get there. Parker Malloy here tweeting out, the town square where people who dish out $96 a year will get artificially boosted above people who don't pay $96 a year, free speech, etc. So it isn't just about. So yes, in case you don't know, and let me first preface this with saying many of you are not on Twitter. You don't care about Twitter. That's fine. Twitter is an important resource for news gathering. It's an important resource for breaking news. It's an important resource for media generally. So if you're not in that field, then it doesn't affect you, whatever. But it is important. And he is going to destroy it in a variety of ways. So he is going to charge $8 a month for a blue check, which is being verified. I don't have one. I've been turned down multiple times by Twitter, even though other people in my field with much smaller followings have been verified. Whatever, it isn't the biggest deal in the world, but I am who I am. I'm the only David Dole on Twitter. Actually, that's not true. There is another David Dole who rides horses, and he's also well known, believe it or not. So if you're into horse riding, you may know the other David Dole. But I am me. I have my handle, that is my name. But he's going to charge $8 a month. So, you know, as someone who doesn't have a blue check and probably should be verified, I am not going to pay for this. Why would I do that? This completely breaks the whole point of having a verified system. If you can just buy your way to verification, then all you are signaling to anybody that sees your blue check is that, hey, I paid Elon Musk $8. I am paying for this blue check. It doesn't say that, hey, you are who you say you are. You're just paying to have a blue check beside your name. At that point, it defeats the entire purpose of having a verification system. So I really do not think this is going to be successful, because it will just, anyone that has a blue check going forward, if they begin charging this $8 a month, all it will showcase is that, hey, you're so much of a loser that you are paying Elon Musk $8 a month to have this blue check, and it does not verify that you are in fact that person. So he goes on to also say, you will also get priority in replies, mentions, and search, which is essential to defeat spam/scam. Or you can properly moderate your platform to defeat spam/scam. Maybe also going to charge for viewing videos, the ability to post long video and audio, half as many ads. So you pay $8 a month and you still see ads. Sure, but you get half as many ads, but you're still getting ads. I pay for YouTube Premium because I watch a lot of YouTube. It makes sense for me. I don't want to see any ads, and I don't. If I had to pay for YouTube Premium and I still saw ads, then why am I paying for YouTube Premium? So he isn't even removing the ads. But this idea that he's for free speech, yet you are getting priority if you pay him money, this completely breaks the whole process, the whole existence of Twitter. Because now it's not about the best replies, the best ideas, the best tweets. It's about how much did you pay. If you paid the money you're supposed to pay, in Elon Musk's mind, then that is what gets priority. You willing to pay Elon Musk, a billionaire, $8 a month. That is what goes to the top in replies, mentions, and search. It is completely insane. It will break Twitter. That alone will break Twitter. But I'm going to get to the financial aspect in a second, which is here, because this is amazing. But quickly here, this from Joshua. Truly fascinating that anyone would think the richest guy on earth sides with the peasants in any capacity. So as you know, Elon Musk tweets about Twitter's current lords and peasants system. How can the richest man on earth claim to be critical of the lords and peasants system? The lords and peasants, by the way, give me money for what was free before. Amazing. So Jason Schreier here of New York Times. By the way, I'm so stuffed and sick that I feel like half the words I'm saying are slurred and not coming out properly. So in case you're noticing that, I apologize. It's just my head is full of mucus. But Jason Schreier here says, or tweets out this New York Times piece. Last year, Twitter's interest expense was about $50 million. With the new debt taken on in the deal, that will balloon to about $1 billion a year. Yet the company's operations last year generated about $630 million in cash flow to meet its financial obligations. That means that Twitter is generating less money per year than what it owes its lenders. The company also does not appear to have a lot of extra cash on hand. While it had about $6 billion in cash before Mr. Musk's buyout, a large portion of that probably went into the cost of closing the acquisition. That gives Mr. Musk little wiggle room. Quote, they are essentially going to take all the financial resources of the company and just pour it into servicing the debt. I can't envision a scenario where Twitter continues existing. If it's now $1 billion a year and they have to, service that debt, and they're not making anywhere near what is needed to do that. This is why Elon Musk is trying to introduce these things. But Twitter was a great resource, a great platform, because it was free from most of that bullshit. You put that into it, and then it muddies the entire system, and it will begin to make Twitter irrelevant if you can't even tell who you can actually trust on Twitter. Because a verified check doesn't mean that person's actually who they say they are. It just means they paid money. It is amazing. And also worth mentioning here is from Casey Tron. Elon Musk has had more gender-affirming surgeries than most trans people. I'm not trying to upset the fanboys, just simply exercising my freedom of speech. So glad that I can state my opinions without having to worry about triggered snowflakes. So this is a point that's been made before, but by the way, nothing wrong with doing this. Like, if I was going bald and I had the money, I would do this too. But to then complain about other people having gender-affirming surgery when you yourself have done it, yeah, a little hypocritical. This is a completely different story. But I covered this yesterday in a video. This is just, an addition to that I'm going to quickly bring up here. But essentially, very quickly, in Ontario, the Ford government, the provincial government, is using the notwithstanding clause, which allows them to get around Canadians' rights to strike. So this is not how this was supposed to be used, but they are using it that way. Anyways, I really just wanted to share this article because this was brought up by Matthew Green, who I think will be the future leader of the NDP. He should be, in my opinion, the leader right now. Jagmeet is a bit of a disappointment. Matthew Green is solid in his positions, is uncompromising, is a fighter, knows how to speak to an audience, knows how to address these issues in a way that I think is more easily digestible for more people. And he's the one that made this a big issue and wanted to have a debate about it that eventually was rejected. But again, I'm just saying this for the Canadians and others in the audience. Keep this name in mind in the future because you will be seeing a lot more, I think, of Matthew Green. All right, I got more stories. There's more. There's a lot more. But let me just, I think I saw some chats. Where was I? Pappy says those numbers from John, Twitter, 900,000 absentee. Those numbers from John, 900,000 absentee ballot requested as registered Democrats. I still don't understand. Michael Cuomo says, how long do you think Musk Twitter will last? It's going to last as long as he... I don't know. I was going to say it's going to last until he gets bored with it, but no, he's going to go down with the ship. It's going to be destroyed and he's going to sell it off or attempt to sell it off at some point to try and recoup some cost. But he will, I mean, the one silver lining here is that maybe by the end of this, the vast majority of people, including the mainstream press who up to this point has really treated him as some god, it'll finally be obvious to everyone how much of a phony this man has been. That it's all about the people that he's hired or the people around him or the wealth that he generated from his father as an emerald miner in apartheid South Africa. That is the secret to his success and not his brilliant ideas from the modern day, or the not modern day, the real Iron Man, real life Iron Man, Elon Musk. No, that's not at all the case. So I guess that will become more obvious. But Twitter will go down with him. So we will see. All right. God, I'm so stuffed. I hate being sick. It's the worst. Let me blow my nose. Quick break. Quick little be right back break. And then I will come back with some more stories, including Steve Bannon, a clip of this amazing moment, and some other things that I have saved here. All right. So I'll be right back. All right. I'm back. Fox News attacks cat lovers. I'll get that. I'll get to that in a bit. But it's an amazing video. Just an amazing video. Let's start though with this. So this is a really well put together video by Midas Touch here, and you will see.
Now, which Republican official or candidate has ever condoned or in any way encouraged any type of violent assault? Can you start naming them? I can't.
Like to punch him in the face, I'll tell you. Knock the crap out of him. Maybe he should have been roughed up.
They never name names because they can't.
I want you to watch Nancy Pelosi empty that gun. It'll be hard not to hit her with it, but I will bang it down.
It's a crime punishable by death, is what treason is. Nancy Pelosi is guilty of treason, and we want her out.
They never name names because they can't.
That is a depiction of Representative Gosar carrying swords, attacking Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
They never name names.
Let's have trial by combat.
Today is the day American patriots start taking down names and kicking ass.
We will not go quietly into the night.
Striking fear in the hearts of liberals everywhere, folks.
Get on the phone, call your congressman. You can lightly threaten them. I'm coming after you. Madison Cawthorn's coming after you. Everybody's coming after you.
I don't think liberals thought this whole mask thing through. You better believe I'm coming with my Springfield XPS.
The swamp isn't truly drained until we've nailed the hides of the alligators to the wall.
They never name names because they can't.
Second term kicks off with firing Ray, firing Fauci. I'd put the heads on pikes, right? I'd put them at the two corners of the White House as a warning.
I said, oh, Lord, right to the violence. That's what I'm doing. If you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
Now, which Republican official or candidate has ever condoned or in any way encouraged any type of violent assault? Can you start naming them? I can't.
The level of gaslighting that the right does is just unfucking believable. Seeing an attack on Nancy Pelosi's husband, unfortunately not shocking. And there will likely be more sorts of attacks or attempted attacks because of the level of rhetoric. And we've seen, I've covered this, the increase in hate crimes since Trump took office, the increase in threats against political leaders since Trump took office, and feelings that Republicans have towards the idea of violence. Almost 1 in 3 Republicans say violence may be necessary to save the U.S. So 30% of Republicans agree with the statement because things have gotten so far off track. True American patriots may have to resort to violence. And of course, of those that believe the election was stolen from Trump, which it was not, 39% believe violence may be required. Yeah, the gaslighting is ridiculous. All right, what else do I got here? This. Steve Bannon. All right, so here's... Let me just play this video first. This is Carrie Lake, of course, gubernatorial nominee in Arizona. One of the, as I said earlier, I think she is maybe the worst individual that Republicans have put up in the midterms, just in terms of the danger she poses. But
we have to tune in to people like Charlie and
Charlie Kirk is such a fucking clown. Like,
we have to tune in to people like Charlie and like my surprise guest tonight. I want you to meet and say a big Arizona welcome to one of my favorite guys in the world, one of the most patriotic men I know. I call him a modern-day George Washington. Come on out, Steve Bannon.
Modern-day music copyright. Modern-day George Washington. Modern-day George Washington. Steve Bannon stole money from Trump supporters. People that thought they were giving money to support building the wall. Steve Bannon purposely lied to them to make himself and his buddies money. This came out. This happened.
Maybe you did that and made money off the health.
Yet, modern day George Washington. This is why I have very little hope. Even when people are directly screwed by the people that claim to be fighting for them, clearly screwed, they still support him. They still cheer him on. They still watch his podcast, listen to him. He fucking stole money from you. You, not anyone on the left. You, Trump supporters. And you still love him. How do you get through to these people? Like, I'm sure this is fake news. Not real. He didn't really do this. Even though it's clear he did. There was a website set up. I'm sure many of them that still support him gave him that money. I don't know. If somebody was this clearly, if anyone on the left clearly fucked people on the left over in this way, they would not continue to be supported. They would be laughed out of the room, run off. They'd have to go somewhere else for their grift. But Steve Bannon, still one of the leading voices within the party after he stole money from Trump supporters. I don't know. Ariok says you can help Dem absentee turnout in Pennsylvania with phone banking at Mobilize site. Search PA. Easy and non-evasive calls. You provide absentee voters with resources, answer questions, and update database. There you go. If you're in Pennsylvania, there's a way to help out. Thank you for sharing that. I don't know. This shit is so depressing. Like, just you can't get through to people that are this far gone. Now to something a little lighter. All right. I have not watched this full clip, but I've heard good things.
Protester where you're out there protesting about everything on campus, then I don't know if you really need a cat. I'm not really sure, but this is just another example of how we are raising snowflakes. Because, I mean, if you honestly can't make it in college, then just drop out.
All right, hold up. So this is about a study. Study shows petting cats could be beneficial for alleviating stress in college students. So this is the Fox News reaction to this story.
Protester where you're out there protesting about everything on campus, then I don't know if you really need a cat. I'm not really sure, but this is just another example of how we are raising snowflakes. Because, I mean, if you honestly can't make it in college, then just drop out. I mean, well, although I know a lot of people want to take advantage of the freebies, but just drop out anyway. Do us all a favor. I don't think animal rights activists would be too proud of this either. I wouldn't want any college student manhandling my cat.
Yeah, but Kaylee, I don't think
Manhandling cats?
When you have rational national
Why would animal rights activists be angry about having a cat and petting a cat? What? We're 26 seconds in. There's more to this, apparently.
these kids need cats. I think they need discipline. I think they need a slap in the face. Because these are the same kids that get a...
No one on our side talks about or encourages violence. Here's another example. They need a slap in the face. Jesus Christ.
Professor fired for being too hard on their way to medical school. Point. These are kids that can't even listen to a slap in the face. Because these are the same kids that get a professor fired for being too hard on their way to medical school. Point. These are kids that can't even listen to a conservative viewpoint. They shout out speakers. They chase them off campus. But a cat will make...
The projection here is incredible, by the way. Just amazing.
Everything better. Guess what? That doesn't work in the real world.
Yeah, you're talking about my professor that I love so much back at NYU. Yes. Yeah, okay. No, I remember on one of my campuses getting a note that there would be dogs and puppies for us to soothe us during exam time. And I thought, is this real? I mean, no. What a distraction for kids who don't want to study. Number one. Number two, I don't need to be coddling
a distraction? Is sorry, again, I'm sick. Is petting? How is petting a cat a distraction? What? How? I don't know. How do they find the ways to be angry about anything? Like, what are you talking about?
A puppy. I need my, organic chemistry book if I'm, in pre-med here. This is insanity. Give me a cup of
organic chemistry book? Oh my God. Do you know how paper is made? What is any of this?
A coffee, a cookie, and a stack of books, and I'm set. I don't need a puppy in my lap to study for exams.
That's right. But they're also getting free tuition,
wow,
too. So the list is...
Good for you. Look. This is a real woman right here. Does not need a pet to help her study. Okay. Like she's saying it as if she's making some bold claim and we should all be patting her on the back. Good for you. Good for you. Okay. Don't get a pet if you don't want one. That's fine.
Endless of what these kids are getting with our tax dollars.
It is, and it's also part of the indoctrination. I mean, they are being trained
You might go in there thinking, I've got to get my philosophy book, I got to get, the chemistry book. And then you're told effectively by the university, no, you need a puppy. This is what you need. Cats, I'm not so sure. Cats could walk away from you, which is even more traumatic when they don't come when they're called. But so, I was on Wall Street walking my dog, my collie Shepherd Mix, who's since passed.
Oh, you have a dog? Wow, you're weak. Look at this weak child here. She can't get through life without having a pet. Why do you have that pet? To make you feel better about yourself? To have something to love you? You terrible person. This is so... What the fuck is going on? What is this segment?
Passed away, named Sydney. And there were students at Wall Street near the stock market, and they all ran at us, and Sydney loved it. But they said, we're studying, we're in the midst of finals. And I said, well, instead of hugging my dog, you should go back to studying.
Amen, Tammy.
And this is because it's the training for the real world. No one's going to hand you a puppy in the real world. And
actually, you can go down to the pet store and get one. In the real world, even. Or to a breeder, or you can rescue. Even better. Go rescue an animal. Yes, in the real world, if you can believe it. In the real world, you can go down and rescue a pet. Bring it home with you. What the fuck? This shows you how insane this network is. What the fuck is going on? What is this whole segment? This is insane. Completely nuts.
And I think that's one of the most important lessons, right?
Yep, 100%.
Nuts. I was
What's the important
This is because it's the training for the real world. No one's going to hand you a puppy in the real world. And I think that's one of the most important lessons, right?
Yep, 100%.
Nuts. I was hoping for a puppy on the couch. Maybe a cat. Okay, these kids are the problem. I mean, all joking aside, they're the problem. If you need a cat or you need a puppy, you don't belong in college. By the way, which was harder, con law or Oregon?
But you belong on the Fox News couch? This lady in the blue, she has a dog. Why is she there if she's so weak? Why is she sitting there with the rest of them? This whole thing is ridiculous.
Oh.
I mean, I didn't take organic chem. I took con law and I loved it.
Yeah, con law was great. Big red book. This is an idea of building a society of betas. All right? We've achieved because we're a society of people who look forward, who are entrepreneurs, who go out and find something. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, all these innovators out there, Bill Gates, they found.
Elon Musk, wealthy because of his daddy, his emerald mine. Jeff Bezos got a small loan of several $100,000 to start Amazon. These self-made men
founded something in a garage. Instead of petting a cat, they programmed a keyboard. Maybe somebody started a manufacturing plant with an idea.
I'm sorry, they programmed a keyboard. They programmed a keyboard. Only the best. Only the best commentary on Fox News.
Come on, these kids are not the problem. By the way, how do you take care of the cats? How do you take care of the dogs? Where's PETA? And why are you going to hurt the cats and the dogs by putting bad kids who can't get around life on top of them? Come on, really?
Well, I'm sure
Yeah, why would you give a cat or an animal? Why would you give a pet to someone who's going to actually show them love? Like, what is this? No, what you do, you give them people that work all day so that they're trapped in an apartment and don't see any light for the most of the day, and then maybe at night they get a little walk around the neighborhood, but otherwise they're trapped inside all day and get very little love from a terrible Fox News commentator here, like the lady in the blue. Bad person. That's who should get pets. Terrible people that hate others for wanting an animal. I don't know what's happening.
Protests from all the kids with allergies, so just wait for the backlash.
That too.
Yeah, the other.
Bad kids who can't get around life on top of them. Come on, really?
Well, I'm
Give
sure
the
there'll
cats
be
a break.
protests from all the kids with allergies, so just wait for the backlash.
That too. Yeah.
Yeah, the other side of the snowflakes that can't handle it. All right, we're outnumbered in just a moment.
Okay. I'm questioning whether we should even exist on this planet anymore. Just let the meteor come down now. It's over. It's over. When fucking fucks like this are making millions being on television, saying the dumbest shit possible, what the fuck is going on? T. Gordon says, stay classy, David. Thank you. I will stay classy. Did I miss that last time? I may have missed that before. Or maybe I did read it and I forgot because I'm sick. T. Gordon says, Mothers AGA are against, I think that's Mothers Against Greg Abbott, are amazing. I really hope Beto crushes him. As a Texan, it's so crazy to hear Republicans try and convince me that Abbott, Paxton, and Patrick deserve more time in office. Get well soon. You should get well soon. I hope you're okay there out in Texas. There are definitely, nice places in Texas from what I hear, from what I see. But and good people too. But yeah, in terms of voting, I don't know what Ted Cruz alone. I don't know how anybody could ever vote for Ted Cruz. Okay, what else? Do I have anything else? I should probably get myself some lunch, some early lunch today. Let's see here. I don't know. I think we're good. I do want to do a quick check though online to see if anything has blown up since I started this, which tends to be what happens. How about this? Front Mission First Remake gameplay trailer. Nobody cares but me. I have never played a Front Mission game, but I will play this one. If you're into strategy RPGs, definitely check this out when it hits. There are way too many games. In fact, I wish there were less games so I wouldn't have to have such a massive backlog. Like, I'm jumping between Mario and Rabbids and Vampire Survivors, and I want to start Persona 4, and there's a lot of good shit out there that is just, I feel like there has never been a time in gaming like now in terms of just the amount of games, the amount of genres that are being serviced. There's something for everyone. There is always, even if you think you're not into games, you would be if you tried. I'm sure something out there that is for you. All right, I don't know. Maybe nothing else has happened. Man, I am. Oh yeah, I want to share this. I saw this stupid back and forth. So Elon Musk did the thinking face to this AOC sweater that is $58, and she replied, because Elon Musk is such a clown. It is like, this shows you how easy it is to put Elon in his place, because this really did it. And I don't know if he's going to reply to this, because I'm not sure how he could possibly reply to this. But there you go. AOC replies saying, "My workers are union, have full health care plus benefits like childcare help, and everyone is paid a living wage. Proceeds go to community acts like tutoring underserved kids. You're a union buster with an ego problem who pockets the change from underpaying and mistreating people." Yes, it turns out union-made products, when you actually pay people properly and give them health care, yeah. Okay, if you want an AOC shirt, it's going to cost a little more money than if it's, some piece of trash made somewhere else by people who are underpaid. So there you go. I'm not sure how he could possibly reply to this. If he has, I don't know. I just don't think there's a way. But like, that's most of what Elon has done since buying Twitter is just get into random Twitter beefs. If I was the richest man on earth, I can guarantee you that I would not be on Twitter. And you see how much I use Twitter. And it's because of what I do. I would not be on Twitter. I would not be on the internet. I would be on an island somewhere, drinking pina coladas. Definitely drinking pina coladas. I love pina coladas. And maybe working out on the beach. That'd be nice. Taking long walks. That's what I would do. Like, it shows you that money cannot bring you happiness. When you're worth that much money and you were getting into Twitter arguments, it's incredible. Did I see a super chat pop up? I think I did. La 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 No says, what did you think of the Ottawa mayoral race? I'm not a huge fan of Sutcliffe, but what's your opinion? Do not ask my opinion on things I don't know anything about. I have no idea. Did not pay any attention at all. No clue. There's too much happening in the world. So I'm going to miss some stories. All right, it's 11:24 in the morning. Which means I just may be getting off. Oh, okay. Let me just do a quick search on a news site. See if there's any big stories. Top big stories. Big top stories. Big top stories. Anxious Americans disillusioned by economy ahead of the midterms. Wall Street Journal poll, 27% say shift away from, or have shift away from Dems since August, plus 15% favor Republicans in Congress. So this is who did this poll? I guess Fox News did, because it doesn't say who did it. Poll conducted by Trump pollster Tony Fabrizio and Biden pollster John Anzalone. The poll illustrates a three-step dance. If you don't follow politics obsessively, you're probably voting on pocketbook issues. If you're voting your pocketbook, you're worried about inflation. If you're worried about inflation, you're trending Republican, which is so completely insane. More than half of inflation is price gouging by corporations. This is not me saying this randomly. This has been studied. This is looked into. They are using the cover of inflation to screw people. And Biden's the one floating a windfall tax on oil companies. Only Democrats are ones that are, even discussing the corporate greed aspect of this. Meanwhile, the right want to pretend it's Joe Biden did inflate. Joe Biden wants you to spend more money because he wants lower poll numbers and to lose the midterms. And somehow he's controlling the world economy, and every country is experiencing inflation in some way. Yet it's Joe Biden. Joe Biden hates you and your family. He wants you to go poor. Now, you can, of course, criticize him accurately for not doing enough to deal with the corporate greed aspect of this, for sure. But to act like the right are going to fight back against those corporations. Come on now. Nobody can possibly believe that. All right. Anything else here? Look at this terrible photo of Elon Musk. All right. I think I'm going to get off. I am too stuffed. I'm too sick. You want to try yoga? I did yoga for a while, and then I stopped, and I should probably do it again. It definitely helps with anxiety. It helps just with muscles generally, and like stretching generally just makes you feel better. Player 2 says, put this toward your monthly Twitter fee. $2. Thank you, Player 2. I'm telling you right now, zero chance that I'm paying for a verification badge. Not happening. Ariana says, if you sit a lot all day, yoga will be good for you. Yeah. You know what I got recently? An inversion table. So I can hang upside down, because I've had a lot of lower back issues, and it always feels like my spine is just like compressed, and what's it called? Child's pose can somehow help with that in yoga, but going upside down definitely helps. Definitely helps stretch out your spine. Definitely helps me feel a lot better. So I will be using that on a regular basis. I also want to see Buckhorn says, hell yeah, inversion tables are sick. I was also seeing something that there's maybe a way to like work out with inversion tables. I don't know, but I'm going to see if that's possible. But yeah, no, if you have back problems, inversion table for sure, I would recommend. Downward dog, yeah, no, that helps too. But no, for me, child's pose is the best one, because you're down facing forward and you're stretching out your back as much as possible. Whereas downward dog, if you sit in that position for too long, it can start to get a little grating. Get a standing desk. I have one right here. I would showcase it. The only problem is the way the cables are set up. I think I have some cables that are not long enough, so some things may be pulled off my desk if I raise this desk. So I have to figure out. I have a lot of shit plugged in here. I have 3 monitors. I have my audio, my soundboard. Got my mic. I got a couple of game consoles. Like, it's a little crazy. So I could probably showcase a little bit. Did you hear that? See? The mic's going up and down. How about that? This table is fucking sick, by the way. It's from Autonomous. I should see if I can be like a sponsor. I'm not into, I have no sponsors, by the way. The emails I get, can you sponsor this? Can you sponsor? Like, I just don't. I feel weird. I feel weird doing that. But there are 2 things that I could definitely sponsor, and that would be Autonomous and their products, because they're all solid. And what's it called? Is it called My Tushy? The bidet. Or is it called Tushy? Tushy bidet? I could totally sponsor them. Tushy bidet. Just Tushy. Yeah. My life, this is not exaggerating. My life has improved considerably since I got a bidet. It's super cheap. It's like $100. And it is life-changing. And I'm not exaggerating. It is, and after you start using one, you begin wondering, why isn't this everywhere? This should be standard. Considering how much it improves lives and my life, you can see, like, you begin to understand how we're all fucked. Because to have something that is so clearly beneficial, yet we're still wiping our asses with paper. Like, when you get your hands dirty and you have just dry hands, you start wiping your hands with paper. Is that how you clean your hands? No. So why would you clean your poopy ass with dry paper? How does that make sense? There's no logic. Yet that's what we do. It's completely ridiculous. So, I don't know. You should get a bidet. You can add it to any toilet. It's definitely worth it. I should be a sponsor. I should find a way to be a sponsor, because I can only really sponsor things that I use myself. All right. Let me grab some more chats and then I'll jump out of here. Bring this chat in front of me so I can see this better. Actually, how about I go here? There we go. Now it's like, we're talking. I'm talking to you. Hey, what's up? But it's all of you at once. 666. That's the concurrent viewers right now. Oh, now it's 668. 666. That's good, right? 3 6s. Big Bidet has taken over left YouTube. Well, it's taken over my ass. I don't know about YouTube. And like I've tried to get my family into it and they just will not. It's like they're afraid. They're afraid of using it. Like even friends, I don't know. People got problems. If you're afraid of having a cold stream of water up your ass, then something's wrong with you. There's nothing at all terrifying about that. It's wonderful. It's a fantastic thing. Why is it life-changing? Because, okay, part of the issue here is I'm a bit OCD. So if you're OCD, when it comes to cleaning certain things, it may result in a disaster in some way. It may end up not being all that comfortable. So by having a nice stream of water do the work for you, it not only is more cleanly, cleans much easier. Also, it saves lots of time. It has saved me a lot of time. Yes, and you save on toilet paper. Like you still use toilet paper, but it's not, as much as you would normally need. It's just to kind of like dry your ass off. But yeah, you save money on toilet paper, so that $100 for a bidet is you make that back pretty quick. Are you sure you're not already sponsored? If I was sponsored, then I would have a link for you where I would like go to this link and save money and give me cash while you're at it. I have no link to share with you, unfortunately. Chat. Sly Tendencies says, thank you for being so awesome. And bidet's work much cleaner. My lady said it's much cleaner, especially when top is happening. It's always funny when people are limited by the super chat. Like I think this is my understanding. You have to pay more to have full sentences, or like the more you write, the more you have to pay, is what I understand. So people try to, shorten their sentences, and it ends up me not really understanding what they're saying. But yes, bidets work for sure. Like I bought my parents one, and they still have not set it up. frustrating. I don't know why they're so afraid. Yeah, I don't know what top is happening means. When top is happening. I don't know what that is. You pay by the character? For real? What? Sounds crazy. Well, all the more reason to be generous. David, seriously, you should come to Japan and use our toilets. Can I be your friend? Because I want to go to Japan, but I'm afraid I don't know anybody there, obviously. I don't speak Japanese, obviously. But let me tell you, on an almost nightly basis, and I'm not exaggerating, on an almost nightly basis, I watch videos on Japan. Usually they're those sort of like POV walkthrough videos. Like there are lots of videos of just, it's just a point of view and a person's just, you know, walking through Japan or walking through Tokyo is a lot of what I watch. And it's more like in the background, kind of like soothing. And I usually watch ones where it's raining. So there's a nice, you know, ambiance to it. But I was watching this other guy I watch a lot now. Let me see if I can find him. He's a Westerner living in Japan. And Tokyo Lens, this dude. This guy's videos are good. Where is it? So he has like some videos on tiny apartments or like, you know, whatever. So I just like watching this stuff and saying, oh, isn't that cool? Look at how they live. Wouldn't that be interesting to live like that? Urban rooftop camping in Tokyo. That was a good one. I don't know what it is. And for some reason, you know, growing up, I was never super into Japanese culture, even though I played a lot of video games. I wasn't really into like Japanese, you know, I wasn't into anime. I wasn't into JRPGs. But for some reason, like in my 30s, I'm like super into Japan now. I don't know why, out of nowhere. But I would love to one day go to Japan. It's hard now, of course. I have, you know, a child. I have responsibilities. I have things to do. But at some point in my life, I would love to go to Japan. And I don't know. Just walking around sounds like fun to me. Just being there, experiencing a different culture, a very different culture. Sounds fun. General Martok says, you would love Konbini Confessions. It's drunken late night street interviews in Tokyo. Let me look that up. Yeah, there's someone else I watched too. He's like I forget his channel's name, but he's a Japanese guy that interviews people on the street about like living in Japan. A lot of it is interviewing Westerners about living in Japan. All right, I am subscribing to Konbini Confessions. I will check that out. Oh, Yuri says, when top is happening is fellatio. Okay. Oh, you people are so funny. Daniel Panic says, Norm from Tokyo Lens. I explore Tokyo Street View. Nippon Wandering TV. Check out Abroad in Japan. Tokyo Creative. That Japanese man. Yada. All right, I will check out these channels. Seems like I'm not the only one into Japan. Japan has insane toilets. I would love, like, my bidet is like a, you know, the Tushy one, so it's just an add-on. But one day, maybe I can save up and get myself just a legit, real Japanese style toilet where there's like, you know, warm soapy water, maybe some flashing lights, some some gentle music. Black Caucus says there was a break-in at Trump's Mar-a-Lago. News confirmed it. What's more important is talking about Japan. It's because of Persona 5, David, LOL. I mean, maybe a little bit. I mean, playing through Persona 5 definitely, I don't know, put Japan and Japanese culture more in the forefront in my mind. But even before that, I was, for some reason, I enjoyed watching those POV walkthroughs in Tokyo. Anyways. I will say, though, Japan is definitely a bit too conservative when it comes to, certain issues, like on drugs, way too conservative. They're also, I think, a little more conservative on, like same-sex relationships and that kind of thing. But I imagine that is changing a bit. But the work culture there, I mean, maybe this is changing too, but from my understanding, it's still pretty bad. Like just the focus on, on like the structure in companies and the proper way to treat your superior and all that shit. Like a lot of it is just really old fashioned, and I would never want to, live there in any sort of long-term way or work for anyone there in any sort of capacity. But just visiting there and the culture, the food, whether I'm in the city, out of the city, it just seems like a very nice place. Okay. 11:45. All right. I thought I'd be off at 11:30. So look at that. I went longer than I expected. Thank you all for showing up, for being here. I may still post a video today, or this just may be the video for today. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. But hopefully I get over this sickness soon. Hey, another chat here. Do you speak Japanese? Daniel Pinnock says, yes, Davis is amazing. You're right about some of Japan's cultural issues. Abenomics was a failure, like Reaganomics. Oh, Abenomics. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know enough, but that's my basic understanding, is that it is still a little bit culturally conservative. But, I'm sure you handle healthcare better than Americans do. But who doesn't, right? I still see today, like on Twitter, there's like a debate between two people in my mentions over healthcare. The fact that anybody still defends a for-profit privatized system. Once you realize that the U.S. is the only place where medical bankruptcy is the norm, medical bankruptcy is the most common form of bankruptcy in America, and it basically doesn't exist in other countries that have a universal system. Once you learn that, then the argument's over. Like, that's it. You should move on. To still defend a for-profit system is insane. To keep having these same debates that have the answers, that have the solutions. It gets exhausting because it's like we're just talking about the same shit over and over again. Since the beginning of this channel, I've talked about healthcare, and like the issue has been solved. We know what the answer is, yet we are still debating it. It is very frustrating. But in many ways, that's politics. All right. Time to go. Time to go. Feel better soon, says T. Smith. Thank you. I hope I do. And I think it's time to go. All right. Thank you all. Have a good lunch, as I am about to do. And see you next time. Goodbye.